At one
Mm,
point in time, I had about $350,000 of gold card credit lines that I could get cash advances on, right? Now, they all had zero balances. Well, I started looking through the foreclosure ads, the substitute trustee ads. I found a good property that I wanted to buy, right? And it was a townhouse in Northern Virginia. And so that the townhouse at the time, and you guys are going to laugh because the townhouses aren't worth anywhere like this in Northern Virginia anymore. The townhouse was worth about $200,000. The owner was getting foreclosed on a $120,000 note, right? So he couldn't even pay a $120,000 note at the time. Well, I literally went and knocked on his door because I was doing this. I was following the pre foreclosure market. I knocked on his door and I started talking to him. And I said, "Hey, Mr. So and so, I noticed that your house is in foreclosure. It's going to auction in a couple of weeks. Um, can I buy your house?" And instead of getting all the no's that I was used to getting, the guy said yes. And so this is where the pivot part comes in. I looked at him and I was absolutely flabbergasted. I was like a deer in headlights. I had no idea what in the heck to do. And so I looked at him. I said, "Okay." And it was about 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I had to quickly pivot because honestly, I had never really done a pre foreclosure before. I had never brought down my cash advances on these credit cards. And oh, by the way, I was unprepared. I didn't even have a contract. Okay. So lo and behold, I said to him, I said, "Nice to meet you." I said, "By any chance, what do you do for a living?"
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Real Estate Pros podcast. Oh, y'all know I love to say I'm excited to be here. And when I tell you, I am very excited to be here. I am so excited to introduce you guys to this gentleman. I could give his resume and some of the things that his business is doing, some of the things that he involved in, but I want to give him as much space to talk for himself because he has a lot of things that he's doing very, very well. And so I just want to introduce you guys to Mr. Charlie Einsmann. Mr. Charlie, how are you doing today, sir?
Well, I'm doing great now. I mean, it was nice. It's nice to meet you, Quentin. And I'm really excited to do this podcast. And one thing I'll guarantee you is we'll keep it at 20 minutes.
My man, I love it.
Yeah.
So listen, I listen. I love platitudes. I love bigging people up, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna leave all that out, and I want to turn it over to you. I want you to take the time to bring us into your world, right? The things that you do. I want you to give us, tell us what your main focus are these days, what you're operating in, and what else you want to tell us right now.
Okay. So we are totally involved in the real estate investing space. So we're both on the commercial side and the residential side. And so one of the things that we recently did, if you look behind me, is we wrote a book called The Real Estate Investment Roadmap to Wealth. And basically what that book is, it's a story of our careers and how we actually had not too many assets and how we built up these assets over a period of years, and that we built up about $100 million in assets, especially on the investment side. And so one of the things that we're focused on is we're focused on this thing called asset-based lending. You guys would know it as hard money lending. That's what you heard about. And what that means, it's we lend on the hard asset. And so a lot of people ask me, they go, well, do you check credit? I say, no. Do you check income? Do you need taxes? Do you need all these things that a normal lender would need? And we don't do that. We're just strictly an asset-based lender. So for example, if you're a fix and flip investor, the property's worth 500,000, you buy it for 300,000, it needs 50,000 in renovation, we're probably going to give you a $325,000 to $350,000 loan on it. And so it's strictly based on the asset itself. And so we've been doing that right now for about 14 years. We fixed and flipped over 400, 450 houses, which is why we're not scared of the asset.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
We don't want to ever take the asset back because we want you as a fix and flip investor to actually make all the money, right? We're going to make a little bit of money, but you as a fix and flip investor, we feel that since you found the deal, we're going to reward you with a loan. And then as long as you execute with your contractor, at the end of the day, you're going to make the most money. And so it's a very, handshake kind of deal, right? I mean, it is a formal real estate deal where we put a deed of trust and a promissory note on it, but you're part of the team. And so we're pretty proud of that. And so we've been doing that for a long time. The other thing that we do, and oh, by the way, we're in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. The other thing that we do is we're heavy into this investing category called tax lien certificate investing. So we buy a lot of tax lien certificates from Washington, D.C. And so what that means is that if you're a homeowner, right, all homeowners have to pay property taxes on their property, either 6 months or annual, all depending upon where you're at. Well, sometimes homeowners get behind on their property taxes because they might own the house outright and they got to pay the government the property taxes directly. And so they run into some financial hardships. And so what happens is once you haven't paid your property taxes, let's say for a year, the government or entity, in this case, Washington, D.C., they will auction off the amount of money that you owe as a homeowner to an investor. So let's say you're behind on your property taxes, you haven't paid for 3 years and you owe them $50,000. Well, Washington, D.C. will actually auction off that $50,000 in the form of a tax lien certificate, right? So then what happens is Washington, D.C. will pay you an 18% return on that tax lien certificate until the property owner has brought their taxes current. If the property owner does not bring their taxes current, then you have, as a tax lien certificate owner, you have legal rights to do what's called a quiet title lawsuit and get the deed of the property. So as an owner of these tax liens, especially in DC, you're either going to get an 18% return or you're going to redeem the property. And so, it's a pretty fascinating investment area that we're in as well. And so we're in and out of this investment space. We're pretty heavy. And so that's kind of what we do.
Absolutely. I was joking with him, people. I was like, Miss Charlie, like, what, like, you got too much free time on your hand. I was joking with him, but y'all can hear, this is clearly a joke because he got so many angles the way that he's attacking this. And I love how you said about the fix and flip. You want to make sure that they get the most money out of it, right? Like, and it lets me peek into your integrity, your heart. You want to serve people, help people, and I love it. I appreciate it. And I know it's not always easy in this climate, right, to have that kind of perspective, to be able to make those handshake deals. So, Mr. Charlie, I guess I want to ask you, what keeps the machine running smoothly?
Well, what keeps the machine running smoothly certainly isn't myself.
Mm.
Um, I have a team of people that work these things on the back end. And one of the things is that I have a few girls that have worked for us for 18 plus years. I have one girl that handles the loan business on the back end. We process all of our loans. All of our investors, they pay us monthly on this thing called the mortgage office. So we've got that systematized. I have another girl that manages all of our rental properties.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
So she manages our residential rentals. She manages our commercial rentals on the back end as a property manager. She also does my foreclosure work, my pre-foreclosure work. And so they've been working with us for a long time. We also have an attorney that's one of our partners in other businesses. He's the one that handles the tax lien certificate stuff because there is a lot of legal stuff that goes in with that. And so we've got a team of pretty reputable folks that are on the back end that allows me to go out there and just find deals, whether it's a hard money deal, whether it's a fix and flip deal, whether it's a commercial property that we want to own or residential rental properties. And so luckily for me, I've got a big team, and everything that we do though is systematized. We're very systems oriented guys. I believe it or not, I've got a degree in electronic engineering. My partner's got an MBA. So we're process system oriented guys, even though we're money guys as well. And so that sort of seems to work well, and it allows us to expand with very few people. That's a
I
good
love
question.
it. Love it.
But
Love
the
it,
other
man.
thing, the other thing I have to tell you though is
Yes,
that
sir.
for the audience, one of the things that Quentin promised me is he promised me that he's going to come on a scuba diving trip with me. So it's on the record. Hopefully you'll keep it.
Hey, Tex, when we get to this part, we're going to go ahead and cut that part now.
There you go.
I'll show you, Mr. Charlie.
Yeah, you'll show me. That's fine.
You will act like that never existed. He never said that.
I never said
But
it.
he's very convincing people. He has me thinking about it for sure.
Good.
Yeah. And so this is what I love about you. You're a great storyteller. And so I would love, if you don't mind, of course, there's moments within business, within these deals, when things get real, right? Maybe a deal goes sideways or a time when you had to pivot fast. Mr. Charlie, you mind sharing one of those times with our audience, time maybe when you had to pivot fast?
Yeah, well, it was when I was when I first got into the investment space. 19, I'm going to date myself a minute. So it's about 25, 26 years ago.
Yeah.
So I was very knowledgeable. I always had a real estate license. I was in the real estate. I just wasn't in it from the investment side. But what I had is and you're going to like the story. I had a really good technology job, right? And so I had good credit, but I didn't have much money. I might have had 10,000 to my name, right?
Yeah.
And so I was coming out of a divorce. But what I did though, is over time, since I had great credit and I had a good paying job, I built up all these credit lines of credit cards. So I don't know if you remember, but back in the day, you could get a gold card. Let's say at the time it was a Chevy Chase gold card, a Visa, right? And they would give you a $20,000, $30,000 limit because your income and your credit. But most of that was also a cash advance. Okay. But they would charge you 3 to 5% for the cash advance. But you could, in my case, I could get up to $20,000, $30,000, depending upon which gold card I had. So what I did is I kept track of my liquidity on my credit cards. So at one point in time, I had about $350,000 of gold card credit lines that I could get cash advances on, right? Now, they all had zero balances. Well, I started looking through the foreclosure ads, the substitute trustee ads. I found a good property that I wanted to buy, right? And it was a townhouse in Northern Virginia. And so the townhouse at the time, and you guys are going to laugh because the townhouses aren't worth anywhere like this in Northern Virginia anymore. The townhouse was worth about $200,000. The owner was getting foreclosed on a $120,000 note, right? So he couldn't even pay a $120,000 note at the time. Well, I literally went and knocked on his door because I was doing this. I was following the pre-foreclosure market. I knocked on his door and I started talking to him. And I said, hey, Mr. So-and-so, I noticed that your house is in foreclosure. It's going to auction in a couple of weeks. Can I buy your house? And instead of getting all the no's that I was used to getting, the guy said yes. And so this is where the pivot part comes in. I looked at him and I was absolutely flabbergasted. I was like a deer in headlights. I had no idea what in the heck to do. And so I looked at him, I said, okay. And it was about 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I had to quickly pivot because honestly, I had never really done a pre-foreclosure before. I had never brought down my cash advances on these credit cards. And oh, by the way, I was unprepared. I didn't even have a contract. Okay. So lo and behold, I said to him, I said, nice to meet you. I said, by any chance, what do you do for a living?
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
And so I said to him, I said, well, what time will you be home tomorrow? He goes, well, I'm a school teacher. You know, I want to get back to my parents in Indiana and Ohio. I'm a little depressed. I just don't like this area. You know, it was April timeframe. You know, the summer lets out in June. I plan on moving to Indiana/Ohio with my parents then. I said, fine. I will be here tomorrow at 3:30 with a contract in hand, and we'll come in and we'll talk about it. So I then had to, you're going to laugh, even though I was a realtor, I didn't want to use the real estate contracts. I literally went to Staples and got myself a 3-page real estate contract. Luckily, I had a title company guy that I knew who could do the closing for me. And remember, it's a $120,000 note, but the foreclosure is like in 2 weeks. So I've got to get this thing closed in 2 weeks. So the next day I show up. I find out how much he owes. He had been paying on this loan for about 5 years. So even though it was $120,000, I think the balance was like 110. But then because he was so late on his payments, the balance was about 120. So then, you know, you have to make a win-win deal. I wasn't just going to give him 120 and then take the guy's house. I said to him, I said, sir, I said, in 2 weeks, I'll make sure that you get $10,000 in cash in your pocket. We'll pay off your loan. And so I'm going to buy your house. And so then again, he said, yes. Well, then again, I'm like, uh-oh, I've committed to buy this guy's house all cash within 2 weeks to stop the auction that was in 2.5 weeks, but I ain't got any money. Okay. So now I got to buy this house in 2 weeks for $130,000. I've got maybe $10,000 in the bank. So you know what I did? Because I was so worried and so nervous that my old cash advance idea wouldn't work, I literally the next day went to the bank and started bringing down $30,000 here, $20,000 here. So I spent the next week and a half making sure that my account was full with 130 grand.
Yeah.
So then we went to closing. I owned a house. I paid him 130. It's worth 200, but I had good credit. So about a month later, I got a normal mortgage on that house for 130 because they wouldn't give me any more than that, even though it was worth 200. It was called a rate and term refinance. And so I got that 130 and I paid back all my credit cards. So there's the pivot story.
What a fantastic! You talking about a pivot story? That was fantastic, Mr. Charlie. You are a born storyteller, man. I'll tell you, man. That was fantastic, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, and I see it now. I know. I think you said that was what 25 years ago.
I still own it. I still own it to my name. Yeah, still own it. Yeah. As a matter of fact, it was my first. And it's funny because in life, you know, you make lemonade out of lemons, right? I was coming through a divorce. It wasn't fun. I didn't want to rent. I had two young kids at the time. They were 6 and 4. I wanted another permanent house for them so that they could go to. So this property, even though I bought it at a good price, was my post-divorce property that I was only supposed to be there for 3 or 4 years. But I ended up staying there for about 12 years until my kids got out of high school. And luckily for me, what I didn't tell you is that house was in my kids' school zone. It was in their middle school and it was in their high school. So by the time they got to middle school, I just stayed there because it was convenient for them to get on the bus. They could get on whatever house they were going to, come to my house, come to my ex-wife's house. So it actually worked really, really well. But that's exactly what happened to me. And, you go through bad times in life, but sometimes if you just keep positive, kind of like yourself, that's why I love you so much is you have the best attitude is you just got to keep moving forward and keep positive and if you know things are going to work out for you, guess what? Things work out.
Mm, man, I appreciate that. Great story. That the bank was able to put a price tag on the house, but it sounded like that house is priceless. Like really. And I
Yeah.
can see why you say you still have it.
Well, not only that, it's funny because Um, not only is it priceless, the thing is, and I still own it for a reason, right? So I'm never going to sell that house. So guess what I'm going to do? Now the house is worth, I don't know, 500 grand or something, and I might owe 50,000. I don't even know. So it'll be
Mm,
paid off here shortly. But for me, guess what I'm going to do? It's simple. Obviously, when I die, I'm still going to own that house. Guess what? My two kids are going to get 50-50 of that house. That's going to be
mm,
part of their inheritance because, that house, that was my home as well.
yeah,
That's what I always tell my tenants is that, we might own the house, but it's your home.
yeah,
You raise kids here, you have good experiences, bad experience, but even though we own the house, it's your home. You've got memories here. And so I
yeah,
never want to lose light of that.
yeah.
And so that's pretty important.
No, I absolutely love it, man. Listen, I want to ask you this because we're doing well on time, Mr. Charlie, but we teetering because it's so much I want to ask you, but I'm trying to streamline it in my mind. But let me ask you this: what are you most focused on solving next or scaling next? Like, what's the next real goal, Mr. Charlie?
Okay. So for us, it's very simple. Um, there's a space out there in the $1 to $20 million lending space that isn't being satisfied. And the reason is because it's community banks that used to lend into that space aren't lending into that space. And the reason why they're not lending anymore is because they hold on to a lot of Class B, Class C office space debt. So a Class B, Class C office building is basically an office building where workers come, right, to work. Well, because of COVID's changed everybody's habits. No one's going to work anymore physically. Maybe 50% of the workforce is going there physically. So they're all working from home. So what's happened is all of the tenants in these office buildings, um, the net operating income of these office buildings has gone way down because of the vacancy rates. Well, because of that, the valuations of these buildings has gone down because of vacancy rates. And these banks who have these $5 million, $10 million loans, where the building is only worth $2.5 million, have to recapitalize these loans, right?
Yeah.
So what that's doing is that there's nobody lending into the $1 to $20 million space. So our focus right now is building a brokerage model specifically for the $1 to $20 million space because our hard money company, Clear Sky Financial, does not want to give any loans more than $1.5 million because all the money in Clear Sky Financial, we're a direct lender. We lend to fix and flip investors. I don't like to have $1.5 million more loans. So that's what we're focused on now as part of our coaching mentoring program. So we're focused on the $1 to $20 million loan space from a brokerage standpoint. And then the other thing we're focused in on is our coaching mentoring program. Because like I told you earlier, we wrote the book, The Real Estate Roadmap to Wealth. And so we have a coaching and mentoring program. So we're really focused on that because our students, we're up to about 40 students now. Our students are all finding deals because our claim to fame in that space is how to find distressed assets, off market, owner owned assets, how to deal with the owner and buy the asset directly for the owner, just like I did in that story on Magical Drive. Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I know we're coming up on 20 minutes. I'm gonna take the blame on this one because I gotta ask you this question, man, because you just mentioned about connecting with people. You talked about even when it comes to the fix and flip, the people who you do that with, just making sure they're taken care of. And so I gotta ask you this and get this from your perspective. When it comes to building relationships and growing your network, what's made the biggest difference for you, Mr. Charlie?
You're gonna laugh. Uh, giving back, teaching and educating them, giving them the best advice I can give them. And sometimes that advice is don't do this deal, and this is why.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're going to lose money at it. I think you're overpaying for it. I think your renovation budget's way too low. I think it's going to be much higher. I think you'd be better served moving on to the next deal. And a lot of times people will look at me with a strange eye. And I always tell them, I'm like, look, I'm helping you out. I'm not making any money on this. I don't care. If you're not going to make money, I don't want you doing the deal because we're always going to make money, but I need you to make money first. So by me educating them and giving them as best advice as I can give them, and them realizing that I'm just not out here to try to make a quick buck, that helps. And so folks that you give them the bad news to, they might get mad at you. They might go somewhere else. But eventually, though, they're going to come back and say, you know what? I wish I would have listened to you.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I had to get that from your perspective because I'm appreciating your lens. You are giving us a wealth of experience and just perspective. So I had to ask that before we logged off. And so listen, before we wrap, if someone wanted to reach out to you, connect with you, collaborate, learn more about what you're doing, what's the best way for them to reach out to you? And make sure you plug that book for me too as well.
Okay. Yeah. All right. The book is called The Real Estate Roadmap to Wealth. Um, I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook at Charlie Einsmann. It's down there. If you want to call anytime, 703-887-1039. We've got websites all over the place. Probably the best website is www.cskyfinancial.com. And so really, if you just Google me, you'll find me. Unfortunately or unfortunately, I'm all over the internet, including the cell phone number.
Got you. Absolutely. Listen, I know we're coming up on time. I feel compelled to ask you if you could take 2 minutes, if there's any kind of inspirational word you want to give, educational word, encouraging word, like anything on your heart that you wanted to say to the people for your last words. Do you have anything like that, Mr. Charlie?
Yeah, I do. And I'll try and keep it under 2 minutes. First of all, I want to thank you, Quentin, for allowing me to be on this podcast. It means a lot. And so my inspirational words is this. If you ever get to a point in your life where you have created any kind of wealth, whether it's wealth you think is substantial or just substantial wealth, and I want to reiterate this and stress it, please give back. Please give back to the community any way you can. The way I've given back is I run a low-income housing charity. Used to be called Catholics for Housing. Now it's called Creating Foundations for Hope. It's in the low-income housing space for those that are less fortunate. It helps put a roof over their head. The other thing that I'm doing is Clear Sky Sports Angels. I donate money to various clubs to allow kids to play travel sports that can't afford it. So whether it's travel soccer, travel basketball, lacrosse, anything they can't afford. I even sponsor a BMX bike club to get low-income kids bikes so they can participate. I say, if you get wealth, please give back. People are in need.
Mm, mm, mm. Well, there he is, y'all, Mr. Charlie Osmond, sir. Thank you, man. This was a privilege, and we knew we was going to have fun. We knew this was going to be good, and it didn't disappoint, man. I want to thank you, sir, for your time. I want to thank you for your stories with an S. I want to thank you for your perspective, man. I just want to thank you for just being here today, man, and just gracing us with your presence. So thank you
Yep.
so much, Mr. Charlie.
And thank you for your time, Quentin. You've been great.
Absolutely. And listen, everyone, y'all know what I'm going to say. You're watching this, you value it, and so subscribe. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. I'm telling you, you do not want to miss out on these amazing conversations that we're having. And so, again, thank you, Mr. Charlie, and to everyone watching, we'll see you on the next time.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.